All right, hello everybody. Welcome to Game 2 of the day here from Uni-Trade Stadium in Laredo, Texas. My name's Ryan Bailey. I'm going to be guiding you through this one along with my cohort, Michael Blake, over here. Say hello to everybody once again, Michael.
I am definitely a cohort. That is the best way to describe it.
We are getting ready here for an elimination game between Youngstown, Ohio and Santa Clara, California. A little bit of an oddity, Blake. For the second game in a row, the whole team wearing white is the road team.
We saw this game yesterday, and it was an action-packed game. A couple of lead changes. Youngstown came out firing right off the bat. Santa Clara came back, took the lead, probably had more runners stranded on base than Youngstown did. Then towards the end of the game, Youngstown roared back and took the lead for good and were able to fend them off. So these teams familiar with each other, and I think it's going to be another good one.
Yeah, having faced yesterday, Youngstown won this game. That was a 9-4 finish, I believe. 9-4 was your final score, with Youngstown winning.
Number 24, Devin Battle.
So Devin Battle going to lead things off. Kai Pagan hitting in the 2-hole. Alex Adame hitting third. Alex Tolbert in the cleanup spot. Trevor Hagman fifth. Nate Santos hitting sixth. Trevor Allen going to be in the 7th spot. Nick Malvini hitting 8th. And Nate Oliveira rounding out your 9 for Santa Clara. First pitch misses.
These hitters have seen these pitchers before, I believe.
Yeah, we're not sure on the pitching. It becomes such a grind in these tournaments, especially with the pitch counts and the rest days. You really almost have to have a team full of pitchers, it feels like. Well, fouled away, runs the count to 1-2 now.
Yeah, an interesting strategy we saw yesterday employed by Chinese Taipei. They seem to have a pretty deep rotation. They never let any pitcher go more than their allotted pitch count before they pulled them, just to make sure that they've got horses in the stable ready to roll.
A swing and a miss, and a nice start for Jack Cartsonas. Jack Cartsonas there with a strikeout to start this one as Devin Battle goes down swinging. Setting up your defense for Youngstown. Starting, like I said, on the rubber, Jack Cartsonas pitching. Justin Meekness behind the plate, so that's your battery. Going around from first to third. That offering misses. Andrew Sobella at first. Chase Franken, Brandon O'Shaughnessy, and Ricky Javaria going around from first to third again. And then from left to right in your outfield, Lucas Golchinski, Brandon Gelpe in center, and then Bobby Lane manning the 9th spot out in right field. There's a foul ball towards the Youngstown dugout. Evens up the count at 1-1.
Winner of this game is going to move on to take on Puerto Rico, who has yet to lose in this tournament. They would have to then win twice in order to advance. Puerto Rico and Chinese Taipei, the only unbeatens left in this tournament.
Ground ball to short. Brandon O'Shaughnessy in the hole. Strong throw across the first. Andrew Sobella there for the out quickly. 2 away.
Nice play there, shortstop position. He had to use his backhand in order to field that one, but did it cleanly. Clean exchange, good throw, and 2 away.
Like you're talking about, Chinese Taipei and Puerto Rico both being perfect so far. Puerto Rico's done it the hard way. Chinese Taipei got a bye out of the first round. They did not have to play on Friday night. Puerto Rico's played all the way through and have looked good doing it. I guess they did get a bye in the second round.
Nonetheless,
kind of a weird setup for a double elimination tournament with 10 teams.
Yeah, and both of those teams come from historically strong baseball programs, so they're going to be tough to beat.
This one's lifted into left. A nice little line drive going to fall in front of Lucas Kolchinski out there for a base hit. Santa Clara trying to get something brewing here in the inning.
I always like watching when hitters, especially these young kids, go opposite field like that. You know, it means that they're not trying to overdo things. They're just taking what the pitcher gives them, putting the bat out there in the correct, I guess, technical way is the way I'm trying to say.
Yeah, Alex Adame there with a nice base hit to get things going. That's going to bring up Alex Tolbert, big number 15, taking strike one. Santa Clara, white jersey, white pants with some blue numbers and blue piping. Digging in Youngstown, Ohio, wearing the orange and blue. I believe they're the Red Sox, but don't wear red. There's a ground ball this second. Going to go the quick way is Chase Franken. He flips to Brendan O'Shaughnessy, and that's going to do it for your inning. So no runs on one hit. One runner left on no score here after the top of the first inning, Blake.
Yeah, it was it's a very different start from yesterday where Santa Clara came out, it was Youngstown that came out and immediately put some runs on the board, and then in the bottom half, Santa Clara answered. So a little bit slower start than we had yesterday. Not as few runs put on the board right off the bat, but I'm sure we've got plenty of action still to come.
Yeah, we've already sat through one game today as it was a battle of the Lone Star State with the victory going to the team out of Laredo. So the host team moving on. Harlingen, another South Texas squad coming in here. They fall in that game 9-4. So that will eliminate Harlingen from play, leaving Laredo to face Chinese Taipei. That game will come up after this one concludes.
2 more games left today. Laredo and Taipei, and the winner of this game and Puerto Rico, that'll be the late game tonight. Scheduled for 8 p.m., but we're a little bit behind, so that might be a little bit later than 8 o'clock. One of these two teams will be there, though.
Yeah, tough go now for Laredo's. They're going to have to go all the way through the elimination bracket, as will the winner of this one. Whoever coming through got a daunting task ahead of them. Going through the order here. So start leading things off. For Youngstown will be Chase Franken. Brendan O'Shaughnessy will be hitting second. Burt Camper DHing today. He's going to hit in the 3-hole. Justin Meekness behind the plate and hitting fourth. Lucas Kolchinski going to be the 5-man. Andrew Sobella hitting 6th. Bobby Lane, Brandon Gallupi, and then Ricky Havaria rounding out your 9 in the batting order for Youngstown of Ohio. We'll get you the Santa Clara defense here after this opening pitch. Taking that first offering from Jeremy McCullough. He's stepping onto the rubber for Santa Clara. He's going to be thrown to Trevor Hagman. That's your 1-2 battery for Santa Clara as that one fouled straight back. Going from first to third around the horn, Alex Tolbert. The one back, Kai Pagan. Nate Santos going up the middle at second and short, and then Alex Adame manning the hot corner at third. Going left to right in your outfield, Trevor Allen in left, Devin Botto in center, and Nick Malvini going to play in that 9 spot as it's now a 2-1 count here to Chase Franken.
We'll see what kind of pitching strategy these teams use. You know, they're both facing elimination, and with the pitch count rules, as that one is pulled foul, you wonder if they're going to empty the cupboard to try and get this win or try to be conservative to salvage as many pitchers as they can for the next round matchup.
Yeah, that is always the guessing game here. That one outside runs the count full 3-2. Full count offering, and we're going to do it all over again after that one's chopped foul. Working out of the windup is McCullough. Looked like Franken didn't like what he saw there. He rocks and fires another foul ball.
Good job there just protecting the plate. Got a full count here and he's fouled off a couple of pitches. And those pitches look to be close to the strike zone, doing exactly what he's supposed to do. Just make sure he doesn't get called on strike 3.
The ground ball to short. Nate Santos up with it. He's going to fire across just in time. Franken hustling all the way down the line. The throw just beats him out.
That was a nice play by the shortstop, fielded cleanly, and there was some speed moving down the line there, so he had to make sure that his transition from glove to hand and the throw over was done efficiently. A little hesitation, and he would have been safe for sure.
You know, Brandon O'Shaughnessy taking strike 1. Got a few of you watching, 77 of them right now. It's one of my favorite numbers.
77, why? Well, what's that about?
That was my number in high school.
Ah, okay.
My favorite number was 7 growing up because that was my dad's favorite number. And then I was an offensive lineman and couldn't wear number 7, so we're 77. It's the offering taken just outside, make it 2-1 now. Got a few of you watching. Christy Joinson says both Lucas Kolchinski and AJ Clegg, that one's fouled off. AJ Clegg are from Toronto, Ohio. Again, did not know there was a Toronto, Ohio. Saying they both won Ohio State championships this year.
Oh, congratulations to them.
Well, I think that's why they're here.
That's no, well, they're not talking about high school, talking about...
No, the Youngstown Astros.
Ah, okay.
Sorry. Unless they are state champions, maybe. She says, let's go Ohio. Lucas, Aunt Christy, and your granny are watching.
All right.
Oh, we appreciate you watching, Christy and granny. There's a 1-out walk to give Youngstown their first base run of the game.
Walks were a big factor in yesterday's game. Quite a few issued on the Santa Clara side. Ultimately, what led to some of the big innings late in the game that gave Youngstown that win. But potent bats on both sides here. We saw it yesterday in full display.
Yeah, speaking of a potent bat, Burke Camper stepping in. Colin Campbell telling us he had a monster blast home run to left field in the first game of the tournament. A 400-footer. We saw a home run earlier today out of Laredo. Jerry Villarreal hit one as well. We understand there was an inside the park home run yesterday over at field number 2. So 3 home runs already in this tournament, still with a handful of games to go. Only 1 hit all of last year in the same tournament on the same fields. There's a strike.
We talked about it yesterday. This is a professional ballpark, 400 to straightaway center. It's not easy to hit a ball out of this field.
No, it is not. This is a good-sized ballpark. So 1-1 offering lifted down the line and left, but going to go foul. For those of you who are not aware, here in Laredo, the Los Dos Laredos Tecolotes play here. It's the 2 Laredos. Just over across the Rio Grande is Nuevo Laredo. And so the Tecolotes play in the Mexican League. They split their home games between Laredo and Nuevo Laredo. So when they're on the U.S. side of the border, they're playing here at Uni-Trade Stadium. Very good baseball. As Camper going down the right field line, tracking it, and a great catch by Nick Malvini, laying out for the second out of the inning.
A web gem by Malvini, moving to his left, and the ball trailing that way, and he was able to keep his focus. Had to stretch out for that, but that's worth a round of applause. Great play made in right field.
Yeah, especially coming off the right-handed bat of Camper. That one's naturally going to be tailing away from him, going towards that line. Malvini stayed with it, was able to make the catch. So 2 away now. First pitch swing, and this ball into left. Tracking it is Trevor Allen, and he's going to come up with the catch. Just like that, a couple of nice defensive plays, and Santa Clara is out of the inning with no damage done. No runs on no hits. One man left aboard. We are scoreless after the first inning.
Completely different start from yesterday's game. Yesterday, there was a few runs scored by both teams in the first inning. So far, a lot of good defensive plays from both sides.
All right, so setting up the order, coming up for Santa Clara will be your 5, 6, and 7 hitters. Trevor Hagman, Nate Santos, and then Trevor Allen. If anybody can get aboard, Nick Malvini will then dig into the plate. They broke up your great Nates. Santos and Oliveira not hitting back-to-back today. I'm sorry about that. They do have the amazing Alexes. They're the awesome Alexes. They're Alex Adame and Alex Tolbert hitting 3 and 4 for Santa Clara, but the Nates have been broken up today.
Just reading a little historical note for you that today is the 26-year anniversary of Robin Ventura charging Nolan Ryan. Some would call a bad business decision on his part.
Or a good business decision because we're still talking about him. I don't think we'd be talking about Robin Ventura if he hadn't have done that. It's one of those no press is bad press type of situations, I feel like.
Famous beatdown from a elderly pitcher.
I will say this, Nolan Ryan, man, that guy he had to be the definition of old man strength. Like I don't even know if I'd mess with him now, and he's got to be late 70s, I would assume.
No, yeah, he seems like he could probably, like he wrestled steers as a kid or something.
Speaking of Nolan Ryan, known for his 7 no-hitters, the Astros throwing a combined no-hitter yesterday. Not one pitcher going the entire way, but Aaron Sanchez getting a start going 6 innings, and then the bullpen coming in for the final 3, throwing a no-hitter against the pathetic Seattle Mariners. And I'm from the Pacific Northwest, so I can say that they are a sad, sad baseball team.
Long gone are the days of Ken Griffey Jr. and Ichiro Suzuki.
Yeah, Ichiro. Don't get me started on Ichiro.
He was a great player.
Yeah, great player. Not a great teammate. Not a winner. Not a winner is my thing. Watching him play, he would do what was good for Ichiro, not what was good for the team, and that always bugged me.
I didn't watch him that closely, so fair point.
Yeah, he was classic for, the team just needed him to lay down a bunt like you like with your small ball. He wouldn't do it. He would try to get a base hit, and it was frustrating to watch that guy play. There's a reason the Mariners never really did anything with him on the team. Griffey Jr., though, that people forget that 95 team was stacked. They had Griffey. They had Alex Rodriguez. He was a young kid coming up. Jay Buhner, Randy Johnson. That was a fun team. As Trevor Hagman watches ball 2 there just off the outside corner.
Don't worry, we won't talk about shoes today.
No shoe talk. We talked some shoes yesterday. There's a ground ball down the line, but foul. Talked shoes a little bit during this game yesterday, and the fans responded negatively.
It was because of Griffey.
That's right. Well, it was Deion Sanders, I think, is what started it.
We're going down that path again.
We did talk shoes earlier today as Michael Blake is wearing his Croc tennis shoes.
They're not regular. They're not clogs.
Just in case any of you guys in Youngstown or Santa Clara, California are wondering, rocking the LeBrons today. Very comfortable shoes. That'll be it for shoe talk. Popped foul down the line and well out of play. Exposed Archer 31 is saying, go water your lawn. Not sure if that's supposed to be some sort of euphemism for something.
I appreciate the advice. I did that yesterday, and I'll do it again today.
Hagman putting this one into center, tracking it out there, but letting it drop is Brendan Gilpey.
Probably a good idea there because that's a tough play if you kind of have to dive forward to make that grab, and if you do and you don't catch it, that ball rolls all the way to the wall, and then you've got at least a triple. Live to fight another day and keep that one in front of you.
Yeah, that was going to be a tough play to get to. He was going to have to lay out to make it with nobody out, nobody on in the inning. Now Hackman at first.
I really want to know what water your lawn means.
I do too. Exposed Archer 31. If you're still watching us, Youngstown. Oh, that's what he earlier in the chat. He says Youngstown is better than California. We actually have water. They swinging a foul ball. I guess if water is the determining factor on who is better, Laredo sits right on the Rio Grande. I don't know. Does that? Although I will tell people that have not been to the Rio Grande, at least here, not what I expected.
There are alligators.
Not as much as the alligators. Really, the water never gets higher than your waist, it feels like, through much of downtown Laredo at least.
That's true.
Not that I've gone wading in there at all, but I'll just say I've seen people walk across it. And we'll leave it at that. Swing and a miss. A big hack there from Nate Santos as he goes down swinging.
Never been to Santa Clara. Have been to Ohio, not to Youngstown.
Well, I'd say Santa Clara sits on the bay there. It's fairly close to the Pacific Ocean. I think Santa Clara's got a little bit of water around it. I get what Archer 31 was trying to say. They usually go through droughts there in California. Is the ground ball to second. Chase Frank in the flip to second. On to first. Roll it up. That's a 4-6-3 double play. Frank into O'Shaughnessy and over to Sobella. And that's going to end the inning. So just like that, we are through 1.5. No runs on one hit and nobody left on. Still scoreless as we head to the bottom of the second. All right, as we're getting ready for the bottom of the first, scrolling through some of our comments here. Kaylee Clock is here to see Jack Kartsonas. She says, go Youngstown. I hope I pronounced that name right. Kaele. Kaylee?
Sounds like Kaylee.
Kaylee, KLOC is her last name on here. Kaylee Clock?
Kalak or Kalak?
Clock. Mark Velker says Ricky Javaria from Grown is a great kid. A lot of Youngstown love out here on our comments. Some California love as well. Yes, go California. Let's go SC. Kaylee Clock. She retracted a message. I want to know what you said now, Kaylee. Are you talking about us? Mark Velker also adds, thank you, Astros, for representing Youngstown with class and respect. Kara Blanford says, go Nate Dogg. Christy Joinson says, Tracy, I got Katie off to band camp while you're with Lucas in Texas. Go Y-Town. A lot of go Y-Towns.
Y-Town.
Y-Towns. I'm going to assume that's for Youngstown.
Yeah. I had not heard it referred to in that manner before. But they are wearing a big giant Y on the front of their jerseys.
Dwayne Alberts, because he's got a Z at the end of Alberts, asks, when does Puerto Rico play?
They played tonight against the winner of this game at what is supposed to be 8 p.m.
Probably going to be closer to 9.
But it probably
9:30.
will. Yeah, it's going to be late.
Get that one going. Luciano Torres, California had snow skiing in July this year, so we have plenty of water. I add in parenthetically, take that, exposed Archer 31.
Little John going on the board.
I like it. I like a little back and forth as this one down the line. It's going to be a fair ball. Going to get into the corner. Looks like it's going to be 2, and it will be for Lucas Kolczynski.
Going for
As
three.
He's going to take off for third, and the throw behind a second. Heads up base running from Mr. Golchinski. I might just start calling him LG for short.
That was a fine piece of base running. It's hard for me to see down the line, but I thought for sure that was going to be a double. But he never hesitated. Took a big, wide angle coming into second base and just never stopped running.
Yeah, we're going to give him a triple on that one. So a leadoff triple has Youngstown threatening for the first run of the game. Golchinski led things off. Andrew Sobella digs in now. He'll be followed up by Bobby Lane. And barring a double play, Brandon Gelpy will come to the plate as well with your 5, 6, 7 hitters due up. There's a strike on the outside corner. Evens up the count at 1-1 from Jeremy McCullough. Nick McCullough, I'm going to assume, a relative of Jeremy out here pitching, says SC all the way, baby. There's an offering down low in the dirt. It's going to run it to 3-1.
Nice count here. If you're Youngstown, you got a runner on third, just trying to get one run across. Should see something he can swing at here.
3-1 pitch, ground ball to second. Runner's going to score. Kai Pagan taking the easy out. Santa Clara here in the second inning going to trade a run for an out, and I don't blame him.
Yeah, that's a smart play by the second baseman. You could see that he was looking at coming home, but it's early in the game. We know Santa Clara can hit the ball. Probably a better decision to not force that throw and risk having the runner make it to first as well.
And that'll bring up Bobby Lane. Kaylee Clock says, ha, ha, ha. Yes, you had it right. Thank you, Kaylee. Big hack at that one. Makes it 1-1. Lucas G getting some love from Christie. Nice off-speed offering. Just misses, though. Make it 2-1. Exposed Archer 31. He's not done. He is not done with Luciano Torres. These two starting to go back and forth on our comments. Make it 2-2 after that hack. We get snow till April. LOL. I have seen pools in my neighborhood with more water than California. Archer 31 not giving in as the count is run full. Nick McCullough says, yep, I'm his little bro. Luciano Torres coming right back. How's the surfing in Ohio? I'm going to guess not too good. Just going to take a guess you can't surf on the Great Lakes. It could be wrong.
I don't believe you are.
As Bobby Lane takes a walk.
Coming on his back, 23, Brandon Gilby.
I'm going to interject here and say that I have visited Ohio. Athens is the only place I've ever been there. No, I flew into Columbus, but
This ball gets away back to the backstop as Brandon Gelpy digs in. That's going to move Bobby Lane down to second base.
flew into Columbus and then drove over to Athens to visit some friends out there. That is a beautiful place. Don't know something must have popped up on the comment section because Ryan Bailey nearly fell out of his chair.
No, this is just. I think we're going to stop reading the comments on the back and forth
that's bad
about
idea.
water.
Bad idea. Just censor it where it needs to be censored.
No, there's no censoring needed. It's just John George's coming back. 2-0 pitch is over for a strike, make it 2-1. John George says they can't surf because their rivers are on fire.
Oh, let's.
And I think we're going to stop reading the comments on the water back and forth. Let's keep things civil on the comments as there's a pop-up down the first baseline just out of the reach of Alex Tolbert. He was battling the sun, battling the railing for the dugout there, and just couldn't make the catch. Thought we might see a little flip side of sports there, him going up and over the railing.
Shameless plug by Ryan Bailey for his nightly segment on
One
the NBC affiliate here in
One I
town.
wish I could get rid of, by the way.
Oh, you're saying that on live air. Okay. That was a
make it a
tough
full
play to
count.
make. That was a tough play to make. He would have he could have theoretically thrown himself over it, but that would have hurt really badly.
That would have been bad. Here's my thing with the funny segments on the sports people when you're watching those on your local nightly news is ball 4, and so they're going to put runners at first and second. The funny segments on your nightly news for sports, when you have funny segments, are good. I enjoy them. They're when you are forced to run them and there's nothing funny, that's when I wish I could get rid of it.
Yeah, coming up with it every night can be a bit trying. You could do it once a week, let's say. That would be a little bit easier. We're not reading any more water comments, right?
Well, I will give Expose Archer this because he's the one who started. He said, okay, agreed. Whitetown is just way tougher than Cali because we can take jokes. Everybody take a joke. We're keeping it lighthearted here, folks. Keep it lighthearted. No animosity needed.
Nope.
Here on our YouTube page. We want to keep reading your guys' comments. We want to have fun with you guys. Don't make us shut down the comments. That's all we ask.
You can make fun of us all you want.
Yeah, go ahead. I have no problem with that. Youngstown here with runners at first and second. They've already got one run in the inning as we got a little meeting of the minds at the mound. Ricky Javaria going to dig in, the number 9 hitter for Youngstown. There it is. After the pitching coach comes out, or manager, fastball right down the middle, and Javaria took it. He's down 0-1. Jeremy McCulloch trying to work his way out of a bit of a jam here. We appreciate his brother, Nick, watching us as we got time.
You spent some time in California, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been to California, never been to Ohio, so I can't speak on the California versus Ohio debate going on right now. I enjoyed my time in California. I actually lived in Los Angeles for a little while. That's a ways away from Santa Clara, so I've never actually been to Santa Clara. I know it sits right in the kind of heart of the Bay Area there, as we talked about yesterday, where the 49ers play. Not many people like that stadium, though, from what I've heard. It's now 2-1 after that pitch misses high.
And what is the reason behind that? Just difficult to get to,
I think,
expensive?
Yeah, I think it's difficult to get to. It's expensive. It's just kind of big. I know the Pac-12 has played their championship game there, and they just don't draw a whole lot of fans. Driving around that Bay Area, woo, good luck. The traffic there is treacherous as it's now a 2-2 count. It seems like gridlock everywhere you go every time I've been there. But they took him out of San Francisco and put him in Santa Clara, and 2-2 count right on the outside corner. Ring him up for out number 2.
That was a big out there with runners on first and second. That was a much needed out here to slow the momentum of Youngstown. If you're Santa Clara, that's exactly what you wanted to see there.
Paul Cosentino says, just a little help for you. It's gel pea. Like you put in
good
your
to
hair.
know.
Gel pea. I'll try to get that right from now on, sir.
Yesterday I mispronounced that all game, called him Gelpy. So appreciate that.
Gel pea. The gel you put in the hair and the green vegetable combined. John Georgia said, we're having fun, giving and taking. We love Ohio, family from Ohio. We appreciate that. Again, we like you guys keeping it clean on there. A little ribbing is always fun, though.
You'll probably notice throughout the broadcast that Ryan and I do that to each other quite often, as he and I have competing interests when it comes to sports.
Our friend Kaylee wondering what the temperature is like down here right now. My app reading 100 degrees, 100 on the dot, with the humidity only at 31%, so not too humid today. It's feeling like 105 as this ball hit into the gap in left center. Don't think anybody's going to get to it. It gets down, and it's going to get all the way to the warning track. 1 run in. Here comes a second run. We're not going to get a throw home. Instead, it's Chase Franken sliding into third with the second triple of the inning for Youngstown, and they have opened up a 3-0 lead.
2-out triple. If you're a coach, 2-out hitting is such an important role in being successful. And that was a masterful piece of 2-out hitting. Runners on first and second, both of them come around to score. And we've got a 3-0 lead opened up by Youngstown. And the inning is not over yet.
We said it's 105 today with the heat index. Not a real humid day despite there being some clouds in the sky. The wind is blowing straight out to left, so that probably helped that ball a little bit as Brandon O'Shaughnessy lifts this one pretty much into the same area. Tracking it, though, is Trevor Allen, and he's going to make the catch over his shoulder to end the inning, so no more damage done. But Youngstown does get 3 runs on 2 hits, and 1 man left aboard. Makes it 3-0 after 2 complete innings. O'Shaughnessy. Yeah. Sing it for everybody, Blake. This is one of your favorite songs from your favorite movie of 2018.
Yeah, you know, my singing voice is a little rattled after doing 2 broadcasts yesterday and 1 this morning, so I'm gonna hold off. Although I'm not gonna lie and say I didn't like this movie.
So you're not going to lie and say you didn't like this movie. You're going double negative on me. You liked the movie is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie and say I didn't like this movie. Because saying I didn't like this movie would be a lie.
You could have just said you liked this movie.
It's good music, man.
It's it's something.
It's not the Beatles, but I mean
It was fine. It wasn't a bad movie.
I feel like your standards are very high for movies.
I wouldn't say my standards are very high for movies, but
Do you not like when people overhype movies?
oh, I hate when people overhype movies. I will say one of the things that I miss is not knowing about a movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you get rewarded for not knowing. It's like if you were to hype up the original Karate Kid to somebody today, and then they watched it, they would be pretty disappointed. But if you don't tell them about it and they happen to watch it on their own, they're probably going to love it.
I remember. We'll get to this. We'll get back to this topic. Nate Oliveira leading things off. He'll be followed up by the top of the order, Devin Batto and Kai Pagan. Another strike, making a 1-2 count to Oliveira. Oh, no, excuse me, Nick Malvini. I messed up in my book. I apologize. Nick Malvini, then Nate Oliveira, and then Devin Batto. I had 2 double plays in here. It was just 1 double play. You can only turn 1 double play in an inning, Blake. I don't know if you know that about baseball.
I've learned over the course of time that, yeah, that would be 4 outs.
So a 2-2 count now to Nick Mulvaney. I remember the summer, June of 1992, going to see a movie that I'd never heard of. I was a kid, obviously, so I didn't pay close attention. But going to watch Speed and knowing nothing about Speed.
It's a good movie.
And watching it, and I remember me and my dad went, I was just amazed. And you don't get that anymore. Now you know about every single thing coming out. At least movie-wise. 2-2 pitch. Lifted into right. Bobby Lane going to watch that one bounce in front of him for the second inning in a row here. Santa Clara has the leadoff man on.
Yeah, I understand that. I don't even remember how we heard about movies growing up in the late 80s, early 90s.
Commercials. It was all about the commercials. The toys at McDonald's.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Like, I remember hearing about Jurassic Park, or your parents would tell you about it.
See, how you felt about Speed is how Jurassic Park blew me away when I first saw it.
Oh, no. Jurassic Park was awesome, but I knew about it beforehand. Like, I knew that there was a dinosaur movie coming out that was huge. It's like, so we knew about it. Nate Oliveras squaring around to bunt before the step off. We don't get that anymore. So I'm sitting here talking about it, wondering, maybe that's why people enjoy Netflix so much. Hey, give me a second. I'll explain. As Oliveira lays this one down, nice sacrifice onto first. Goes
Well executed sacrifice bunt. Nothing fancy, just right back to the pitcher and gave his teammate a chance to move over. As Santa Clara is going to try and scratch one across and reduce this deficit a little bit.
So back to my Netflix comment. A show like Stranger Things. Nobody knew about Stranger Things. Netflix doesn't tell people what's coming out ahead of time. They just drop it and then wait and watch. The movie Bird Box. Did you ever watch Bird Box?
I did.
It wasn't a very good movie, but people were going crazy for it because they didn't know about it. All of a sudden, there was just this movie on Netflix starring Sandra Bullock, and it was kind of intriguing, and people went crazy for it.
Again, I thought it was a decent movie. It's not going to win any awards, but I thought it was good. I think your standards are just like sky high. I think you want everything to be The Godfather or nothing.
This one popped up. Chase Franken giving retreat while Bobby Lane coming in. Chase Franken couldn't find it, but it lands in his mitt. So there you go. Sometimes better to be lucky than good on that one.
That reminded me of The Sandlot a little bit.
Yeah,
just put your glove up in the air and don't worry about it.
But he had a panicked look on his body. You could see he was kind of like shuffling. He didn't know where that ball was.
And he bobbled the catch a little bit. It didn't fall straight into his mitt.
He kind of gave I didn't know what happened until it happened look after he caught it.
Balk.
We got a balk at call, and that's going to move the runner. Alvini will move over to third thanks to that unforced error. So 2 away. Kai Pagan stepping in. Takes that one high. I will admit, I worked at a movie theater all the way through my high school days. So I saw a lot of movies. It's not that I want them all to be The Godfather. I appreciate a dumb comedy or a good thriller just as much as anybody. I just want them. I want things to kind of make sense. That's all, I guess. I don't know. I do not like the Marvel movies. You're right. And I have a contrarian personality where I don't like things that everybody likes. There are times where I'm like that, where I try to have a little more discerning taste. And I feel like the Marvel movies are the same movie over and over again. I didn't like Lord of the Rings. Everybody was going crazy for Lord of the Rings, and I was like, these movies aren't that good. Like, the story just isn't. I don't know. I didn't enjoy it as much as everybody
I read
else.
those books, so I was pretty hyped for that when that came out.
Fair enough. Kai Pagan facing a 1-2 count here. Doesn't chase on that one. It's going to even up the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. A runner at third. This one a 3-0 game for Youngstown right now.
Is that why you don't like Crocs? Because of your discerning taste?
I have never worn a pair of Crocs. I can't say I like or dislike
You're missing
Crocs.
out.
Pagan with a ground ball to short. O'Shaughnessy up with it. He's going to fire across just in time to get the third out of the inning. And Youngstown keeping Santa Clara off the board. No runs on one hit and one man left on. My only experience with Crocs, my mother had some. We were out of the Pacific Ocean on the Oregon coast. The water came rushing in, and they both fell off her feet. She couldn't, and we could find one of them. Kind of had a general area of where the second one was. Have you ever spent much time at the ocean, Blake?
Not in the Pacific.
So when the ocean kind of rolls over, you get a bunch of sand that rolls over, and so they were hidden. Like, you couldn't find them. And I remember being like, it's got to be right about here, and I just stuck my hand in, dug about 6 inches deep, bam, pulled out her Croc. It was a 1 in a million shot. I have no idea how we found that shoe, but we did.
That's your experience with
That's my only experience with Crocs. That and making fun of you and Joey Sanchez, another one of our friends who wear them. That's my entire experience with Crocs.
You got to try them on one time, man. Try them on once. Come on, people, back me up. Try them on once, and you'll never wear another pair of shoes around the house. And then one day you're going to say, what? You know what? I'll just put these on to go to the grocery store. I don't need to put on tennis shoes. And you say, you know what? I can just wear these at the ballpark. No one cares. And then you are in the fraternity.
And then you've been converted. I feel like this is like the minivan mafia that's out there. It's just like they pull
would
you in.
love to have a minivan. As someone with kids, give me a minivan all day long with automatic doors and room for everything.
Here's my thing, and I know, okay, and I'm going to reference our buddy Joey Sanchez. He's a sneakerhead too, and I don't consider myself like a diehard sneakerhead, but I like nice sneakers. I'm wearing a pair of LeBrons right now. I got some nice sneakers. I got some good Jordans. I spent a good amount of my discretionary income on shoes. Do I have to give that card back if I wear Crocs?
No.
I feel like I need to.
No, you don't.
I feel like Crocs are the anti-sneakerhead shoe.
Well, so you're trying to make a statement with your footwear everywhere you go.
Michael Sargent says, somewhere between movie and footwear discussion, a baseball game is supposedly being played.
Okay.
We're still here for the baseball game. It's 3-0. 3-0 Ohio with the lead.
Point taken.
Chuck Blair's comments, the stadium in Santa Clara is awesome. It's just the owners of the Niners that went back on their word and have been battling with the city. Apparently a little bad blood there. And as a parting shot, by the way, the owners are the Yorks, and they're from Youngstown. I did not verify this information. This is coming from Mr. Chuck Blair. We can look that up for you if we want, but I like that creative shot, if true. We can try and find out. Again,
Google it.
Apparently they don't like our movie or footwear discussion, so we'll go back to the game. It'll be the heart of the order coming up for Youngstown. Burke Camper, Justin Meekness, and Lucas Golchinski. I'm just going to call him LG for short. Going to come to the plate for the guys in orange and blue.
Well, so
It's a
far
3-0 count now.
So far, so good. Jed York pops up. Current CEO, 49ers franchise. Son of Denise DeBartolo York.
The Bartolo.
DeBartolo. He's from Youngstown, Ohio. Fact verified, sir. Good work.
Burke Camper takes a walk there, so the leadoff man aboard for Youngstown. That's going to bring up Justin Meekness. Over for a strike. Michael Sargent doesn't like our footwear or movie discussion, but he does agree with Chuck, saying Chuck is 100% correct. We appreciate you guys verifying for us. Counts at 1-1 here. There's a pickoff move over to first. Got a text message, Blake. I think you're confusing game commentator with podcaster. Two different things. We know what game's going on. We're just trying to give you guys a little chatter in between the pitches. This one popped up just behind the plate. Trevor Hagman getting rid of the helmet and making the catch. Now he's going to try to fire on to first. Camper scampering back to the back.
It's always a tough play for the catcher. That one going over his head, and he's working backwards to it and fighting the sun. So a great job to keep his wits about him and then check the runner over at first, make sure that he's not going anywhere.
Lucas Kolchinski will now step in. Taking that one for a strike. Oh, 1 count here to number 33. He takes strike 2. Kolchinski got our scoring started. He had a triple back in the second inning and then would come in to score on a ground out. 0-2 count. Make it a 1-2 count. One and two the count, one away with a 1 runner on. Mark Velker chiming in. He's saying, I'm texting for Ricky Javaria's mom. Who can't figure out how to text. Come on, Ricky, help out your mom. There's strike 3 on the outside corner. Kolchinski goes down for the second out of the inning. She's very proud of her son, number 41 for Y-Town. We don't blame you, ma'am.
Yeah, these kids have come a long way to be here. Some of them are away from their family. Down here in South Texas with us, we hope we're taking care of them the way that you guys would back home. Hope they've enjoyed their time here.
Andrew Sabella digging in now with a runner at first. Yeah, as we said when Harlingen went down, it's a huge deal for these kids to be here no matter what. They had to win a lot of baseball games to get here, and at the end of the day, it's going to be whittled down to one team winning it all. But all of these kids hopefully having a great experience. I know from being around the stadium a little bit, everybody walking around, getting to know each other. I saw some of the 12-year-old kids, the 12U tournament here for Pony going on across town, and they were here hanging out with the Laredo kids and having some fun. The team from the Dominican Republic was getting high fives from all the older kids, so hopefully a great experience for everybody as this one's lifted out of play.
Yeah, and they're getting to play in a great ballpark. This is home to a professional team. Local university uses it well, but it's in immaculate shape. Runner going.
And that one low and in the dirt. He's going to cruise on into second. Will Camper.
Yeah, it's not often I'll say that when I was around this age, it was I don't think I ever got the chance to play in a stadium of this caliber when I was this age. And maybe these kids have already, but for me it would have been a really big deal to get to play in some place like this.
The 2-2 offering, or 3-2 offering, excuse me, that one gets away into the backstop. And again, Camper on the money. He's taken off and scampering into third on the walk to Andrew Sobella as that one got to the backstop and bounced back. It looked like there might be a play to be had for Trevor Hagman, but no throw down.
And again, all this happening with 2 away. So the first time that Youngstown did the most of their damage came with 2 outs, and here we are again, 2 outs, runners at the corners.
Set and the offering lifted high in the air. This one on the infield. Alex Adame coming over from his third base spot, drifting back into fair territory to make that catch on the pop-up. And Santa Clara gets out of the inning with no more damage done. So no runs on no hits. 2 men left aboard. We are headed to the top of the 4th inning. This one's still 3-0 Ohio over California. Let's check in on our comments again, shall we, Blake? Going back to the talk about the San Francisco 49er owners, Whitetown says, so technically Youngstown owns Santa Clara in football as well as baseball.
Oh, shots fired.
Coming back at you. Eddie Kubo says, Chuck Blair is 5-time Palomino World Series winner head coach from Santa Clara. Chuck knows. Yes, the Santa Clara team, as we said yesterday, 5-time champion, looking to make it 6. They also had a runner-up finish in 2001. They won this whole tournament in 99, 2000, 2002, 2004, and 2005. So quite the run. Didn't know we had Pony Palomino royalty listening to us here, so we appreciate Coach Chuck Blair being there.
Yeah, and just for comparison, Youngstown, Ohio has not won a Pony World Series at any level. However, their 5 consecutive appearances is the longest active streak for appearances. So
there you go. So we got a couple of teams that are very familiar with the Pony League World Series. We have Mark Rodriguez thanking Coach Chuck Blair for posting the feed on Facebook. I appreciate you posting the feed as well, sir. Coach, thanks for posting it. He says, great background for a day of computer work. The chatter in between pitches right now is solid. I'll take solid.
I'll take that. Yeah.
Solid might be the best compliment we've got all weekend.
Yeah, the only compliment we've got all week.
Congratulations, Mark Rodriguez. Each of your comments are now being read on the air as we get them.
Keep them coming.
All right. So, Santa Clara going to step in. The top of the 4th inning. Alex Adame, Alex Tolbert, the awesome Alex is coming at you. And then Trevor Hagman, he will round out the 3 due to come up. And speaking of that, attaboy Adame, love you, nephew, proud of you, says, I'm going to guess his Uncle Mike. Mike Adame.
I am also an Uncle Mike.
Nick McCullough coming back, the starting pitcher, says, I wish you guys could try and beat Wilcox High in Santa Clara for football. I'm assuming Wilcox High must be pretty good in that area. His first pitch taken for a strike. You all would get schmacked. S-H-M-A-C-K-E-D. Schmacked. I like that, Nick. I don't know if that was done on purpose. I might use that from now on. Schmacked. Maybe throw a C in there. S-C-H?
Oh, is it just S-H?
It's just S-H. Schmacked.
Is it a German word?
Schmacked.
No, I'm just playing.
Try to work that in later on this game.
Santa
Nick.
Clara's going to try and schmack a couple of these pitches to get their way back into the game.
Jack Cartsonas on the mound. He has given up 3 hits, but has been able to work out of some jams. Alex Adame down 0-2 at the plate here. Swung on, and that ball right back up the middle into center field. And just like that, Santa Clara with the leadoff man aboard. That'll bring up Alex Tolbert, his Alex brother. I don't think they're actual brothers.
No. I did my research.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. But
that would be something if they were brothers. I'm going to go with no. Alex Tolbert. First pitch swinging. That one fouled over towards the Santa Clara dugout.
Batting number 15.
John Georgia says, let's go, Alex. Uncle John cheering for you. Uncle John, which Alex are you talking about? Dame or Tolbert? We need to know. These are the questions that we're wondering right now.
wondering what is the, there it is, population of Youngstown, 64,000. Pretty good sized town. I wonder if it's isolated, close to some of the bigger areas.
Strike to Alex Stolbert. Makes it 0-2. I believe when we looked it up yesterday, it kind of sits right in between Cleveland and Pittsburgh. There you go. That one taken for a ball. 1-2 the count. Nobody out. 3-0 your score. California, Santa Clara has thrown up goose eggs in their 3 at-bats.
Yeah, I found it here on the map, close to Canton, close to Akron.
Lifted high in the air to center. Jalpi hanging underneath it, just beyond that Laredo insignia out there in center field. Yeah, I would assume it's kind of a metro area, if you will, not a big city per se around it, but looks like there's a lot of smaller towns. Canton, Ohio, of course, the place of the NFL Hall of Fame. The induction ceremony happening last night.
Good buddy of mine, Jim Bonnet, played baseball for the Akron Zips back in his day.
Trevor Hagman, the catcher for Santa Clara, stepping in.
Also the hometown of LeBron James, is it not?
Akron, Ohio. There's a swing and a miss.
Good breaking ball there. Had the batter off kilter.
No 2 count. And I'm going to resist the urge, everybody, to go back to movie talk. We could go into Space Jam 2, but we're going to leave that alone.
It's going to be a nightmare.
My boy Dame Lillard. It's the only reason I might watch that, and even then. The ground ball to short. This could be 2. O'Shaughnessy over to Franken, on to first. And just like that, roll up a 6-4-3 double play for Youngstown. We are halfway through this one, and it is 3-0. Youngstown out of Ohio with the lead. We're headed to the bottom of the 4th inning.
I want to say that's the second double play already today for Youngstown, and both have been picture perfect.
Yeah, earlier it was 4-6-3. It went Franken to O'Shaughnessy to Sobella. That time it was O'Shaughnessy, Franken, Sobella.
And Franken yesterday, we saw him put on a heck of a display, doing it at the plate, doing it defensively. Then he came in and pitched and closed out that game. Yet he was the closing pitcher yesterday, was he not?
I do believe so, yes.
Having a heck of a tournament. We haven't gotten to see a lot of the remaining teams. Didn't get to see Germany or Illinois. Haven't seen Puerto Rico.
I got to watch a little bit of Puerto Rico on Friday. They look good. They look solid. They were taking on a number 2 team out of Laredo. The team from Nuevo Laredo was supposed to be in play. They didn't for whatever reason. Not exactly sure why. So they had a second team from the host city kind of put together, travel team made up of mostly sophomores. A lot of these kids are graduated seniors, going to be seniors. Those kids were made up mostly of, I believe, kids that were going to be sophomores. So a younger team, they were able to beat them 4-1, and then missed out on last night's game, but sounded like they took care of business in comeback fashion, from what I heard. So
we have seen Chinese Taipei, and they were a very disciplined team, is what you'd come to expect from a team from that region. They were very strategic with their pitching rotation and how they subbed in and out, and seemed to be very good on the fundamental side. Not a lot of unforced errors.
Coming next back, number 23, Bradley Jelby.
somebody messaging in, what time does the team from Aruba play? As far as I'm aware, no team from Aruba here.
At least not in this division.
Yeah, it could be in the 12U tournament that's also going on across town. There's a ground ball to Alex Adame over there at third. He fires across to get Brandon Jelpe out. So 1 pitch and 1 away.
For 41, Ricky Javier.
I'm not sure they, like we said, they may be playing at the 12U tournament. We can find that out. It's plane flying overhead.
Looking for Santa Clara here on the map. Found San Francisco.
It's just south of San Francisco, kind of in that San Jose area.
There's Palo Alto, San Jose, Santa Cruz.
This one lifted in the air to center, racing in to make the catch is Devin Botto. And 2 pitches, 2 away here for Santa Clara.
I'm just going to have to search it. I can't find it on this map. There's Berkeley, Pescadero, Santa Cruz.
You could just type Santa Clara into your actual map. That'll bring up the top of the order. Chase Franken going to dig in. Franken 1 for 2 on the day. He tripled back in the 2nd inning. Was left stranded there. He also grounded out to short to lead off for Youngstown. And he's going to take a ball. Did you find it?
Yeah, right there next to San Jose, as you were saying. Cupertino close by.
What's the fun fact about Cupertino?
It sounds funny.
If you ever have an iPhone, it always has the time for Cupertino.
Is that the Apple headquarters?
The Apple headquarters. There's a swing and a miss, making a 1-2 count now on Franken. Roxon, there's a ground ball to third. Hot shot, Alex Adame sticking with it. He didn't field it cleanly, took it off the chest. Looking like Roger Dorn out there. The second half of Major League Roger Dorn firing across the first for the out. Nice play there, Alex.
Yeah, that was definitely not an Olay play. And not only that was he able to keep that one down using his body, but it was a rocket to get it across after he bombed it a little bit. He had to put a little extra, just the way you like your hot dogs, all the way across the first base.
Only mustard. That's all you need. No ketchup. A little bacon. A little bacon.
We had
is
the
good,
discussion
too.
earlier.
Yeah, we don't
I
need to go
like
back to that
ketchup and mustard with my hot dogs.
All right, Santa Clara coming up.
Gonna ignore me.
We have the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Nate Santos, Trevor Allen, Nick Malvini. Due to come up. If anybody can get on, Nate Oliveira will step in. Got to give a shout out here. We gave her a little bit of grief already, Blake. Stephanie Javarilla. I figured it out, Mark Velker. I'm Ricky Javarilla's mom, watching from Youngstown, Ohio. Let's go, Y-Town. Hey, Stephanie Javarilla.
Good job.
Good job, Stephanie.
Well done.
She figured it out.
Well done.
And you didn't even need Ricky's help.
Thanks for listening. We hope you're enjoying.
Let's see. John Georgia says Santa Clara at the south end of the bay, next to San Jose. Thanks, George. Kara Blandford says south of San Francisco, north of Santa Cruz. Ya boy Brian, yeah, next door to San Jose. And there we go. Michael Sargent liked the Roger Dorn reference. Thank you. Thank you, Michael. Much better to be compared to second half of Major League Roger Dorn than first half of Major League Roger Dorn.
He was worried about his contract and didn't want to take any of those ground balls other than in his glove, and yeah, that was not the case with that last play. He put his body on the line. He's gonna have a battle scar after that ground ball for sure. Always wanted to go to Northern California, maybe check out Napa. I don't know how close that is to.
Fairly close. You're not too far away. I'm sure the Santa Clara people could tell you more about Napa than I could.
I do enjoy a glass of wine. I've heard if you do, that's one of the best places to go. Although Oregon, I've heard, is good too.
Oregon and Washington, great wine. Actually, Mia, Little personal note, just got married not too long ago. We were talking at one point, we wanted to do a trip for our honeymoon back down the West Coast. My wife never really been out there a whole lot, and one of our stops we wanted to make was Napa. She's a big wine drinker. I'm not. I don't need it.
I enjoy it.
Swinging a foul straight back. It feels like wine is one of those things you either love it or you hate it. There's not much in between with wine.
Yeah, you count me in the love column there because I do happen to enjoy it. Not really sweet, more.
There's another hack fouled off. We did some wine tasting on our quick honeymoon that we did here in the Central Texas area.
So I'm getting a note here that Paradera, probably pronounced Paradera, Aruba, won the Pinto 8U International Baseball Classic on July 13th, and that is the only World Series event that they're involved in. So there's your answer.
There's a swing and a miss. First strikeout, so there you go. Aruba won
the 8U tournament
back in July. Congratulations, Aruba. As Trevor Allen will now step in with one away. First pitch swinging a line drive into left. Bobby Lane tracking it down. Quickly 2 away here.
We have to be careful with the major league talk because then we'll start drifting into the baseball movies again like we did yesterday.
Well, we kind of did already today as well in this one. We had a little movie talk. I do think it's the most quotable baseball movie of all time. Maybe the most quotable movie of all time.
I'm going to go Dumb and Dumber on most
Dumb and Dumber's up there, but Major League is...
That's
Oh, man. That's...
one of my favorite.
Nick Malvini stepping in.
Hard to not say it's not my favorite baseball movie.
They're going to say he offered at it. Quickly 0-1. I mean, just the... What's with this Olay fill in the blank? There's only one thing. Go out and win the whole blanking thing.
Yeah.
Got to toss in a lot of blanks.
Yeah,
here,
you do.
Because it's YouTube, we could use those. No FCC regulations, but we like to keep it a family broadcast here.
I'm not remembering. It was Lou. What was the coach's name?
Lou Brown.
Lou Brown. He was one of my favorite characters in that.
The 0-2 offering fouled out of play. See, Dwayne Alberts tossing back in there. Until now, what team for you guys has the best pitching staff? Dwayne wants to know. I think he's asking us. What out of the teams that we have seen, Blake, which team is there's a ground ball softly hit to short. Brendan O'Shaughnessy bobbles it, and he's not going to have a play. The sure-handed shortstop can't come up with that one.
What I've seen so far, probably Chinese Taipei. They seem to have a number of kids in their rotation that really aren't too far off of each other skill-wise, and they rotate them frequently so that they don't have to sit them. We've mentioned a couple times. Go ahead, Bailey.
The fly ball to center. Brandon Jelpe trying to race in to make the catch, but it's going to drop in front, kind of in left center field. So back-to-back base runners, I guess. The last one got on by an error. So they've got 2 runners on as it looks like Nick Malvini kind of coming up lame a little bit there at second. Going to have the coaches come out.
So as I was saying, the Chinese Taipei really taking advantage of the role, and I believe, Bailey, you said once they pass 30 pitches, they are not allowed to pitch. Is it the same day?
I believe it was 1 to 30 pitches. They need 0 days of rest. So I don't know if they can come back and pitch that same day or if they can just come back the next day. I want to say once they've pitched in a day, they are burned, but I could be wrong about that.
I'll have to double check that one. But what they did in the game that we saw, which was against, who did we watch them against yesterday? We watched them against, it was a Laredo team, was it not?
Who's that?
Taipei.
Taipei? No, they were playing Harlingen.
Harlingen, that's correct. Another South Texas team. They rotated their pitchers frequently, so no pitcher went more than 2, max 3 innings, and they would bring in another, and it didn't seem like there was much of a drop-off from one to the next. And I'm thinking that the strategy behind that is that they want to be able to use them frequently and not worry about them burning a day of rest. We're double checking the rule book real quick.
So checking the rule book, what I can find here, Rule E, 10E, when pitching in more than one game on the same calendar day, pitchers may pitch any combination of pitches in those games, provided they do not exceed the maximum number of pitches for that calendar day. So how I would read that is,
one calendar day, you have a total number of
one
pitches.
calendar day, you have a total of 105 pitches. At this age level, you have 105 pitches in that calendar day. So anybody who pitches today can come back again and pitch
later today,
as I read it. As looks like Mr. Malvini's going to be okay to stay in the game out there at second. Going back to the question, I think it's really hard. Like you said, China was probably, or Chinese Taipei was the most impressive, but it's because of their depth. They didn't wow me, and none of their pitchers really blew my socks off with how good they were. They were all just very consistent, and they all threw strikes, and at this age, that's huge.
Yeah, and again, we didn't get to see the team from Puerto Rico, so we don't know what they've got. I haven't seen them, so I'm not sure. They could be a little bit more dominant. They might be throwing a little more gas. Not 100% sure for them, but from what we saw at Taipei, you said just consistently throwing strikes, nothing overpowering, and letting their defense work.
Devin Bottles steps in there, the leadoff man, the number one hitter in the order. He big hack at the first pitch. Here's a second. Down low and in the dirt, evens up the count. A big spot here for Santa Clara. Again, they've got base runners on, 2 of them this time.
Yeah, and for Santa Clara, yesterday was a similar story where they were able to get plenty of base runners, but that 2-out hitting has been really important for both of these guys. As you remember, the 3 runs by Youngstown came on a 2-out hit.
The 1-1 offering that one low, but chased.
So Santa Clara, they've had their opportunities, and they've all come with 2 outs. They're going to need to find a way to pick up a hit or two in these situations where they've got 2 away.
So much of baseball comes down to the clutch hitting. They need that clutch hit here. Can Bato produce the 1-2 pitch down the line, but just foul?
That would have been it right there. If that one was just a hair further towards first base, that would have been at least a double, and probably brought both runs around to score. Unfortunately, foul by just a couple feet.
I will say Andrew Sobella playing the line over there.
Yeah, big
It
gap
looked like
between
he was
first
gonna
and
come.
second base.
This one lifted just into shallow right field, but Chase Franken gonna give chase and makes the catch to end the inning. So 2 more runners stranded for Santa Clara. We now head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Still a 3-0 game. Blake, kind of going back to the best pitching staffs, I think part of the other issue that you see in these is because of the double elimination style and the limited number of pitches you can throw in a day, it's really one of those, you got to have a ton of pitchers.
Yeah.
You have to have a lot of arms, and so kind of when we're seeing them for an inning here, inning there, it's tough.
Yeah, definitely. It's the coach really has to have his thumb on the heartbeat of the pitching staff, has to understand what they can do and for how long they can go before they run out of gas. And you don't want to put yourself in a position where you've run your best pitcher to the maximum pitch count when you are possibly facing another elimination game later today, and you're going to need them again. So it's these coaches have quite the task in front of them to manage these rosters in the most efficient way to put their team in a place to win.
We have, somebody chiming in about Napa. Lynn Cavarillo says Napa's about 75 minutes north of Santa Clara. So there you go, Blake. North of the Bay Area. Hannah Tiendes says, the West Coast is the best coast. I agree, Hannah. I agree wholeheartedly. As a West Coaster, I like where your head's at.
I'm not on board with a lot of people want to call this the third coast.
This is not third coast.
Or south
No.
coast.
No. South coast.
As I said, I'm not usually third coast, but I'm not really on board with that. East Coast, West Coast to me makes sense. I can just fine calling it Gulf of Mexico.
I can tell you, having been to South Padre Island, it is not the ocean.
I mean, it is an ocean.
It's not an ocean. Like, there are 4 oceans. It's a gulf. It's not the ocean.
It does feed into the ocean.
It feeds into the ocean. That's fine. As Brandon O'Shaughnessy lining this one down the left field line, but it's going to go foul. That's like me saying I'm on the Columbia River, but it feeds into the Pacific Ocean. It's not an I can't call it an ocean.
It's ocean water. It's not a river. It's not a
I will
lake.
say this. You can, like, wade out in the Gulf of Mexico forever.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not like an ocean.
There are a
That's
lot
what I'm
of
saying. It's not an ocean.
What's it called? A lot of
Sandbars?
sandbars that are out there. That's correct.
Brandon O'Shaughnessy 0 for 1 on the day. He did reach by a walk in the first inning of this one. Hit out to center. Devin Botto tracking back. He's got the shades on, and he's going to make the catch. 1 away.
Those shades, I don't understand why more of these kids aren't wearing them with the sun where it is here, kind of early afternoon. It's messed with their eyes a little bit on a couple of these flyouts earlier today. We saw kids struggling.
Number 15, Bert Camper.
Bert Camper will step in. I agree with you, Blake. If I was playing out there, I don't care what position you're at, maybe catcher might be the only one where I'm not wearing them, but that sun, the way that Uni-Trade Stadium is built, they actually positioned it as Camper takes ball 1. They positioned it so that by about 7:30, all of the seats here in the stadium are covered by shade. But what that does is, if you play day games here, that sun is sitting basically right behind the third base dugout. So right field, first base, second base, center field, you're constantly looking back into the sun.
That makes sense from a fan perspective.
Camper gets a hold of this one, and it's going to get down and to the wall. One hopping off the Lele 100.5 sign as Trevor Allen, again, the hardest ball for an outfielder to track is the one hit right over their head, and that's exactly what happened there. As he slaps his glove, and Camper makes his way into second, his first hit of the game.
One out here, and once again, Youngstown threatening with a runner in scoring position. Not a huge difference in the hits today. Looks like 5-3 in favor of actually California.
Santa Clara's actually out to hit them. They have no runs on 5 hits, no errors. Ohio, 3 runs on only 3 hits and 1 error. So, not a whole lot of hits to go around so far, but Youngstown has made the most of their hits and their base runners. Ball 1 there to Justin Meekness, the 4-spot hitter for Youngstown. The big lefty digging in. He takes strike 1, evens up the count 1-1.
He's got an aggressive stance, and that pitch coming right down the middle looked like he really wanted to pull the trigger there, but held off.
This one lifted into right. Nick Malvini dragging or going back, camping underneath that one. A strong throw into third, but it's not going to be enough to get Camper, who tags up.
So let's see if the 2-out hitting once again benefits Youngstown, as we've got runner on third and an opportunity for an RBI here with 2 away.
Luke Phillips says Jack K is showing. Also, we're going back here, Jack. Jack's going back to the Ohio versus California debate. No earthquakes in Ohio. There's a swing and a miss from Golchinski. My boy Lucas, LG.
I will say this. That may be the case, but being from South Texas and living in this kind of heat, the worst thing that I could possibly imagine is waking up to your car covered in snow, having to shovel your driveway, and
everybody.
Whatever else comes along with living in an area that gets a lot of snow.
Michael Blake is weighing in on the Ohio versus California debate. For so long through this game, you have been Switzerland. You have stayed in the middle. You've given some love to Ohio. You've given some love to California. Now you're going after the Ohio snow.
I'm not going after them. I'm just saying that it's not something that I am used to.
As Lucas takes a ball off the shoulder there, he's going to jog on down to first base, being hit by that pitch. So now runners at the corners with 2 away.
But as I imagine, just like we get used to living in 105-degree weather day after day, they probably get used to living with the snow day after day.
Christy Johnson joined. Christy Joinson keeps wanting me to call him 400 Luke. I'm not sure what the 400 Luke stands for, but 400 Luke. Danny Trevino's, there's a ground ball back up the middle. Laying out for it is Kai Pagan. The throw to second in time. A great flip to second just to get the runner, saving a run from Youngstown. The barehanded play, yeah, that was nice. It was a great play.
That's one of the
and
best.
We're going to get another look at it. Some great defense being played in this game.
That's one of the best defensive plays I've seen thus far. The flip to second base, second baseman deciding to barehand that one instead of use his glove, and probably needed to do that to get the put out. And wow, that was impressive.
It was a bang play there at second. I agree with you. If he goes with the glove hand, the runner's probably going to be safe, and it'll be another run for Youngstown instead. California holds them off. It's still 3-0 here. We're going to the top of the 6th. We get another look at it. Great play.
Diving stop, mishandled a little bit, but then recovered. He's able to extend that right hand a little more, and that was huge, because if that out isn't made, we've got another run on the board for Ohio. Instead, we go to the top of the 6th.
Audrey Cat says, that was my brother. Heart emoji. John George's beautiful defense. Stephanie Bugash coming in from Johnston, Mississippi, says, nice play. Danny Trevino, it's 101 degrees, feels like 107. I need a snow cone. I agree with you, Danny.
Those are delicious. Down here in Laredo, we call them raspas, and they are delicious.
All right, well, Santa Clara is going to come up here. They have the number 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Kai Pagan, you just made a great play in the field. Guess what? It's not enough. They need your bat now. Kai Pagan's going to lead things off. Alex Adame is going to hit second in the inning, followed up by his buddy Alex Tolbert. Santa Clara, you like to count down the outs, Blake. They're down to 6 outs.
Only 6 outs remaining, and they're going to need to get a little something going. They've managed to get some hits, but just hasn't been at the exact right moment to move the runners around the horn. And so far, out hitting the Ohio team, just haven't been able to get that run yet.
Kai Pagan watching as there's ball 2, 2-0.
Did you ever have to deal with snow in Washington?
Yeah, usually in where I'm from, the Portland, Vancouver area, we get about 1 or 2 snow events a year. I didn't have to deal with it a whole lot. It does kind of shut down the city. Does it make it 3-0 to Kai Pagan? It shuts down the city because everybody freaks out. Nobody knows how to drive in it. I did go. I'm a proud Washington State alumnus, and so we were over in the eastern half of Washington where we got a lot more snow. I was telling somebody the other day I had one winter, it's the 3-0 pitch over for a strike. I had one winter where I didn't move my car for about probably a month. It just sat in the parking spot because it was snowed in. I didn't feel like digging it out all the time and didn't really need it. Walked pretty much everywhere. Pagan swinging a little number on the infield, a little pop fly. And that one's going to be handled easily by Sobella over there at first.
Yeah, I mean, where you grew up sounds similar to here. Whenever it gets too cold, this city kind of shuts down as well. They're not equipped to handle it here.
Yes, but cold here in Laredo is like 60 degrees
That
and
is
people
not
start
true.
freaking out.
That is not true. Cold is anything below 50.
Okay. I rest my case. That's not cold. The people from Youngstown, Ohio right now are laughing at anybody in Laredo saying under 50 is cold.
45 degrees, and I'm not leaving the house.
Oh my gosh. This seriously, people, is what I deal with in Laredo, Texas.
I'm making a big pot of chili.
This one fouled off by Alex Adame.
Throwing
Evens
on,
the count at 1-1.
making a big pot of chili, throwing on the sweatpants.
It's 45 degrees out, and I'm going to the grocery store in shorts and a T-shirt and feeling awesome about it because it feels great. It's a little ground ball to second. Franken up with it. He's going to go to Sobella at first. Quickly 2 away here. Santa Clara down to just 4 outs now.
Yeah, you mentioned yesterday that I do like to golf, and I do. And, once we hit those cooler months, but if it's below 50, I'm not golfing. That's miserable.
I've golfed in the snow.
How is that fun?
It wasn't really fun. I think we lasted 12 holes and then we called it a day. It was cold. Another little pop fly. Not much of a pop fly, kind of a pop line or pop drive, I guess, to first base. So Bella there for the out and a quick 1, 2, 3 inning.
That was strange. There was 2 almost identical, what I would call jam shots that just kind of drifted right to the first baseman and could not have been an easier play for him to make. And just like that, California has only got 3 outs left to get 3 runs.
Yeah, Youngstown going to come to the plate. The bottom of their order, Bobby Lane, Brandon Jelpe, and Ricky Javaria with his mom watching on. Again, great job, Mama Hav. Let's see, what do we got here? Let's go Santa Clara. Luke Phillips. Negatives for a whole week last winter. It's good for the soul. Hashtag Michael Blake is soft. Yeah, I added in the Michael Blake is part, but he just put hashtag soft. I agree. I don't know about negatives. I lived through negatives again where I was going to school, Luke. Not so sure about that. So Mark Velker says, football coach birthplace, Youngstown, Jim Tressel, Bob Stoops, Mike Stoops, Bo Pelini, Mark Stoops, Gary Niddle. Yeah, there's been some head coaches. I mean, obviously the Stoops brothers. Michael Blake over here to my left, he's a UT grad, so he's not a huge fan of the Stoops. No, but you cannot deny what they have done.
Credit where credit is due. Bob Stoops was a heck of a coach. I am not a fan of the university there in Norman, Oklahoma. But no doubt that he was a heck of a coach, and I was surprised when he retired. But you know what? Yeah, I that's correct. Being in negative weather probably hardens you up a little bit. But
without a doubt.
I would say that working in 110-degree weather probably does the same.
No, I'm not going to lie. You were talking about golfing earlier. I refuse to golf in the summer here in Laredo. My buddy's back at home. Oh, I'm going golfing. Are you playing? No, man. I am not. It's 105 degrees out. I played in a tournament not too long ago, and it was just miserable. Like the last 4 or 5 holes, I just did not care whatsoever.
And if you take a look at these high school kids who carry their own bags, 18 holes in that weather, you're talking about some kids that really have to gut it out.
Christy Joinson says, we have no power for 4 to 5 days. Thank God for a generator. I hate snow in Ohio. Fouled back, evens up the count at 1-1 to Bobby Lane.
This goes to show you, everybody likes something different.
Dustin Lally says, good thing these are metal bats. Callie would be having an expensive day. I agree. They would be breaking a lot of bats if they were wooden, as they've been jammed by Jack Cartsonas quite a bit today.
Yeah, there has been quite a few jam shots here, and 2 of them in that last inning made it a quick inning for California at the plate.
Taken outside, make it 3-1. We do want to let you know Jeremy McCullough's day is done. Sorry, brother Nick. He had a good outing going 5 innings, giving up just the 3 runs, ran into some trouble in that second. Other than that, he had a really good day as this one fouled back and out of play. Jorge Parada is on to pitch now for Santa Clara. Oh, there you go. Michael Brickner says, also, Bill Buckner's father graduated from
Youngstown State?
Struthers, Ohio. I'm going to guess Struthers is somewhere around there. And Danny Trevino, a shout out to the broadcasters. Hey, thank you, Danny.
Much appreciated.
Says Richard Rosas, send them some Dos Equis Micheladas on me.
I would not turn that down,
swing
sir.
and a miss.
I would not turn that down.
So 1 away here as Bobby Lane goes down, hacking. Now bring up Brandon Jelpe. Jelpe, he is 1 for 2 on the day. He had a triple back in the second inning. He also grounded out to third to lead off the 4th. So his 3rd at bat of the day. Parada's got a little pop on his pitch there. That one wouldn't even stay in the mitt of the catcher. Make it a 2-0 count now as that one's low. Ground ball down the third baseline, foul.
So funny how these bats have changed. We were talking about bats a little bit earlier. When we were growing up, bats had that ping sound whenever you would make contact. The thing would ring out throughout the stadium. And now they sound a little more like they're made of wood.
So a pop fly kind of into no man's land in the right field, coming over, trying to make the play. Nick Mulvaney lost that one in the sun, and he went into cover-up mode as that one bounced about 8 feet away off the padding. Looked like one of the players might have been able to have a play. Mulvaney and Kai Pagan, probably the two that had the best shot at it there, but getting lost in the sun, as we said, it is a brutal time of day for anybody playing right field. We can kind of tell a cloud trying to cover up the sun right now. If that had happened a minute ago, it might have equaled an out for Youngstown. Instead, Jelpe lives to fight another day. And he lines this one into center. Well hit. Going back is Devin Botto, but he's there to make the catch.
Off initial contact, that looked like it was going to clear the head of the center fielder there. But playing deep enough that he could retreat and make the grab.
Yeah, again, that one kind of hit right at him. He kind of froze for a second. One of the things I remember, I didn't play a whole lot of outfield, but your first step, always back. Always go back. Much easier to run in than back, and that's kind of froze for a second and then retreated on the ball and was able to make the catch. What I liked about what Botto did, he kind of froze to start with, but then he hustled back, and he tried to get back and set himself up for the catch. So often you'll see these kids watch the major leaguers where they just kind of drift into catches and
make it nonchalantly.
Yeah, I like
Willie Mays Hayes.
I like to
style.
see these kids going back to the fundamentals a little bit more. 2 away, and this one popped up on the infield, kind of in that same spot. Alex Tolbert going back to give chase. He reaches out and makes the catch. Battling the sun and everything. Tolbert, guess what he's wearing, Blake?
He's wearing shades.
He's wearing shades, and he followed that ball all the way there. So, 3 up, 3 down for Youngstown. This is it. Santa Clara fighting for their lives here in this tournament. They trail 3-0. They've got one last chance here to do some damage against Youngstown. We've got the top of the 7th inning coming up. All right, as we get ready here, we'll give you Trevor Hagman going to lead things off for Santa Clara. Nate Santos and Trevor Allen, your 3 batters due up here. If any of them can get on and do some damage, Nick Malvini will come up. So the 5, 6, and 7 hitters due up for Santa Clara. Going back to our comments, Jelpy is going to the University of Illinois at Chicago.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Not sure if he's going there to play baseball, but Michael Brickner letting us know that. Hopefully he's going to play baseball. If he is, good luck to him. Ryan Ramirez says, let's go Santa Clara. Go Twins. Love your most favorite cousin ever. Duh, Sophia. Oh, thanks. Thank you, Sophia. Luke Phillips talking about the pitching outing from Jack Carstenis. He's saying, watch out for the random drug test after this performance from Jack K. Hashtag another level. Yes, he has been nails. As we say that, Hagman getting a base hit, as you like to call him, Blake, a little C&I single there in between third and short.
That's exactly what Santa Clara needed to get this inning going. They've got to get some base runners out there. They've got to put some pressure on the defense, on the pitcher. They can't just let them coast through this inning. They've got to make them work a little bit, or this one's going to be over. And Youngstown, unfortunately, will be headed home. But great start. We're going to have a pinch runner here, trying to get a little bit of extra speed out there on the base pass.
Ryan Oliveira will go over to first. The brother, we're being told, of Nate Oliveira.
Number 8, Carlos Miguel.
And we do have a change in the lineup. Carlos Parada will come in and hit here in the 6th spot for Nate Santos. First pitch, swinging, fouls this one back. Giving chase is Minkus, but not going to get a play. So that one gets up and over the net. Michael Sargent, I'm going to agree with this. A shout out to all the parents and families who traveled to Laredo for the tournament from all over the country. Yes, we want to thank each and every one of the parents that came out, all the families. I know Laredo, not the easiest place to get to from a lot of these locations, but a good contingent down. He says, especially the Hagmans from California. And, yeah, we thank everybody for coming down.
Yeah, it is kind of difficult to get down this way. Do have an airport here. It's not very big, but we do have flights going to Houston and Dallas, so that's most likely, if they flew in, they most likely came that way.
Sorry, this is Carlos Pineda getting a pitch hitting, and he is quickly down 0-2 after that swing and a miss. timeout. Michael adds, Trevor gets it started. Let's go SC. Yes, go Ride Dog. Let's go Sox. Whip out the Jobu doll. I agree.
Love the Major League references.
And there's one right down the middle for strike 3.
That's a big pitch.
Jack Cartzonas has not skipped a beat whatsoever. That one looked about as fast as he was thrown in the first inning. And he just piped that one right down the middle, said, come and get it. And they couldn't.
Yeah, and, you know, he has done a great job, and you wonder, I don't know where he is on his pitch count. If they happen to keep the score the way it is and move on, will he be available for much in the next round?
And it's one of those things at this point, you don't want to mess with it if you are Youngstown.
No, he's pitched a great game.
Rolling, and
he's pitched a great game.
It's looking like right now they are probably going to move on to face off with Puerto Rico once again. So there's a ball, make it 1-1. Again, we understand Puerto Rico won in comeback fashion last night. They won that 3-1 as there's a tapper to third, across the diamond to first. Ricky Javarria recording another out. So now Santa Clara down to their final out.
And a lot of credit there. That was the right play. You know, that was not a very hard hit ball, and the play at second would have been extremely close. Better to just give up the base, take the for sure out at first, and now you got your team just 1 out away from advancing to another game against Puerto Rico. So kudos to him for making the correct baseball play there. That was intelligent.
Yeah, in that situation, the runner at second means nothing. I mean, if he scores, fine. It doesn't matter. At this point, sure outs are much more important than getting a lead base runner there at second. I agree with you, Blake. We had timeout, apparently. The first base umpire didn't want to wait to go grab a drink. He's taken care of. He's trying to stay hydrated.
That's not the only intelligent play we've seen out of these kids, though. They've all been making really, really nice plays. We saw the one barehanded play from Santa Clara just a few innings ago.
Nick Malvini digging in, fouls off the first pitch, 0-1. A little pressure on Nick to keep things going here. There's a snap throw back to second. Not exactly sure why Justin Meekness was doing that.
Able to get back in time, but that would have been the wrong way to end the game. Getting picked off at second.
Yeah, if you're Santa Clara, not how you want to end it. You want to end it at least at the plate. Nice job by Meekness there, coming up with that stab. Make it a 2-1 count, 2 away here. We are in the top of the 7th inning, last chance for Santa Clara. Cartzonas comes set. Again, fouled back. Make it 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away here. The top of the 7th inning. I will say this. This, out of the 4 games that we have watched and the games that I saw on Friday night, has been the best played game that I have seen. So the ground ball back up the middle. O'Shaughnessy ranging over to the throw to first. In time for the out. Tough way for Santa Clara to see their Pony League Palomino tournament come to an end. Youngstown takes it 3-0. Blake, some final thoughts?
That was a incredibly close play there. I think some of the Santa Clara fans would like to have the benefit of instant replay. We're going to take another look here because that was close. I don't know if we're going to be able to see that if the camera got over there in time. But You're right. This was a very well-played game on both sides. We saw defensive gems out of both of these teams. We saw some really smart baseball plays out of both these teams, and unfortunately, someone has to win and someone has to lose. And Youngstown's going to have another opportunity to keep their tournament alive. They're going to go up against Puerto Rico this afternoon. It's a bang play, no doubt about it. Not gonna criticize. It was close, very, very close. We're not there. We don't get to hear the pop of the glove. And
He's got a better angle than any of us do. That is for sure. But great job out of Santa Clara. Unfortunately, they go down in defeat 3-0. They just could not get past this Youngstown, Ohio team. As for the second day in a row, they fall to Ohio. So sorry, California, no offense, but you got to tip your hat to Ohio on this one. It was a war of the words on our Facebook or on our YouTube chat. It was a war of teams on our field here at Uni-Trade Stadium, and it goes to Youngstown, Ohio.
I think we should take one more look and.
Let's see, not a whole lot. Add at bcamper33 on Snapchat. So there you go. If you want to know what Brent Camper's up to, you can add him on Snapchat. Go Youngstown. Way to go, Whitetown. Danny Trevino says, safe. Whatever happened to Ty goes to the runner. The ump was thirsty.
We're not, I mean, it's possible.
Conspiracy Blake coming out and saying he had grabbed a drink right before that. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
It's
Youngstown,
a bang,
Ohio,
play.
They won it 3-0 fair and square tonight or today. So we thank you guys for tuning in. We are not done here at Uni-Trade Stadium. Me and Michael are done. We've done our 2 games for today. But coming up next, it will be the host team, Laredo, taking on Chinese Taipei in what is an elimination game for Laredo. That game will start up here in about 45 minutes. Following that up tonight, as it's scheduled for 8 p.m., will probably be closer to 8:30, will be Youngstown, Ohio, taking on Puerto Rico. Again, another elimination game for the U.S. team in that one, as Youngstown will need to win tonight. If Youngstown or Laredo can win, they will play again tomorrow against their respective teams. It will be a rematch with the championship game coming tomorrow, 7 p.m. right here from Uni-Trade Stadium. So thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thanks to everybody for listening to us. Hope you enjoyed it. Be safe out there. And good luck to Youngstown as they move forward.
Yeah, have a great Sunday, everybody. And like we said, stay tuned. Another game coming up here in about 45 minutes.